Well, good morning, everybody. How you doing? It's just me today. Brian's traveling, and I'm gonna go as long as my voice will let me. I've been recovering from the flu. Who cares? Wham, wham, wham. But anyway, I just wanted to get to. We've been doing with Aces 53, which is I came up with. Hold on, let me grab it. When I was years ago in college, can you see that? There you go. We got four aces and a joker. Basically, when I was going through sales training, one of my instructors was explaining to me to remember four aces and a joker. Aces stand for attitude, commitment, enthusiasm, and smile. The four things you bring to a sales transaction. And then the joker is that unique ability that you have that's unique to other people so that you can do much better than other people in sales. And Brian and I wanted to put something together, and that's kind of how this came together. As I was clearing out one of my cabinets, and these four aces and a joker fell out, which I've had probably for 25 years. Yes, I know I'm old, and I thought that would be a good thing to use as helping people understand in sales because right now we've had such low lying fruit for the past I don't know 4 years of being able to just pick and choose what we wanted to get. And now it's a little bit harder in sales to go forward. And that's why I wanted to start this whole thing that we're doing now, which is Aces 53. We're also doing sales training and other things, but right now we're just focusing on our lives that we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays, usually Brian and myself, we talk about a subject, and then on Thursday we bring in the joker that we call them, which is the expert, the person who can help you teach you that unique ability so that you can do much better in sales. There's no other time more than right now is being able to take that prospect and turn it into a client and making sure you actually can utilize that prospect as an actual client and being able to go through. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. We were talking about prospecting with AI and how that can help you. And then right before the show, I was coming in here, I got an email from a company who was telling me how I need to AI optimize my sales floor. And so I started looking into how they were talking about it. And basically, it's just to make it easier so salespeople can just focus on what's the most important thing. And what is the most important thing? The relationship with your client. You need to focus on the relationship with your client and not so much of anything else. You need to remember that the sales process is a relationship process, and you need to build that relationship and not focus on the task of trying to sell them. You need to build relationships with your customers because that is how you have a client for life. That is how people will want to come to you and refer people to you because of the relationship you're building with them. And I know a lot of people are, I don't want to say scared of AI. I look at it like when the internet came back in the 90s, everybody said it was going to put all these companies out of business and actually created so many more companies and so many other things. And it's just like when they said we wouldn't need paper anymore in offices because of the computer and other stuff that was coming out and everything. And now we use more paper than we've ever used in history. So I just think it's an additional way to help you as a salesperson to move forward. And that's why we do these ACES 53 things. But AI optimization, I mean, the most important thing is it's you can help. So if you're in a sales environment and you're overseeing salespeople, it's going to make you be able to figure out how to help them better and help them where the process is that they need help in, instead of being able to, be. I grew up in a sales environment that was a little different than other people. My sales environment was this. I'm going to show a little clip from Glengarry Glen Ross, and that's what my process was like. That's how it was for me. And let's see if we can get that to move forward.
Moment. Because you're talking about what? You're talking about bitching about that sale you shot. Some son of a bitch don't want to buy land. Somebody don't want what you're selling. Some broad you're trying to screw.
Stop sharing that. Anyway, on Glengarry Glen Ross, if you ever watched the movie, basically Alec Baldwin comes in and tells everybody that coffee's for closers, you're nobody, always be closing, all these things that the old salespeople used to yell at the salespeople, and then well, you can't do these days. It's just not allowed anymore. And it's just so important to understand that when you're moving forward and as a sales professional and as maybe somebody overseeing salespeople, they need help, but they don't need somebody to micromanage them. I understand that a lot of salespeople do need structure, and they don't understand that when they first get started, and they really need that structure and they need to have those things in place. And that's what you're there for. Myself, I'm actually growing now, which please don't take this wrong, which I didn't want to. because I like the size that I was at with the company, not my body. Of course, I always want to get smaller with the body, but we won't get there. And it's important that now we got more and more people coming wanting to do stuff, but we only have so much time left in the world. So we need to use the AI to optimize and AI to help you prospect and get to the right clients that you want to get to. And I want to kind of get into this. And I'm like I said, I'm going to go as long as my voice will let me today. Probably about 15 minutes is what I'm saying because I got radio all day tomorrow and I got to save it for that. Not that this isn't you're not important, but if you look at AI optimization, it's going to the sales involves, AI, which will improve the sales process, increase lead volume, and improve close rates. That's important because a lot of people didn't have when I was selling by the phone years and years ago, and we'd send out stuff to people and have it come back. I had a when I'd send out a package to somebody, I had an 89% return, which was unheard of. And then out of that 89%, I would close 90% of those transactions. And that's because that's what I learned to do. You don't have the time to learn that now with all the different companies and everything else that's also going after that same client. You need to be able to implement things that will make that process easier and faster for everybody. And that's what AI will do for you. But you want to make sure that when you're implementing the optimization and prospecting, and you look at a few different things. You have to look at what data is required to know this. You have to look at the scripted language. And also, I think the biggest point that when you're looking at your process, you need to understand what part is AI and what part is ML, which is machine language. You need to understand the two different things in your process because AI refers to the broader field of creating intelligent, that whole process for human-like tasks, while, machine language is basically involves algorithms that can lead to data, improve the overall time. And these are things that you really need to understand when you're going through this. I know this isn't gonna be for everybody, and that's okay. I want if this helps 1 or 2 people, that's all I care about. Thirdly, you want to consider why behind the implementing of this AI optimization in your prospecting. You need to know why you wanna do this. What is your ultimate goal? Because organizations can focus their efforts in areas that matter to you, and that's what you need to work at. What's going to matter to you? Where do you need to build? If I look at my situation, we get a lot of people wanting to do certain things. It's getting through those people to get to the ones who can actually do it, and then sitting the ones who can't do it today, put them in another situation to where we can process them and go through a process to where they can do it tomorrow or the next day. And it's because lead generation, we're getting a lot more leads, but we gotta make sure that we can convert those leads more than any other time in history. Right now, for us, we if you look at so I'm gonna give an example. If you have your credit run in our industry, right? When we run your credit, do a hard inquiry, you get sold to different, other creditors to contact you and try to get you that loan if that's what you're going for, and they bombard you. It used to be you'd get a few phone calls. Now you get 92 phone calls. That's how bad it is, and that's what we're looking at right now. So you have a short period of time to actually focus on that client and get that trust built and get that relationship. Everything we're gonna talk about here always goes back to relationship, the relationship that you're building with your client. I know we talk prospect, but they're gonna turn into your client. You need to build that relationship more than any other time in history, but you also need to know who you are when it comes to what you're trying to do, and the reason I say who you are is because you need to know who your perfect client is. I know I'm kind of going all over, but this is important stuff. If you don't know who your perfect client is, you're never going to get the right client. And you need to focus on that. So what you need to do is sit down, and I'm going to stop right here, but sit down today. Who is your perfect client? You need to niche what you're trying to do down to the one thing that you want to focus on and focus on it well. And the reason I say that is there's an old saying that riches are in the niches, but something about the follow-up is where the money is, and basically, that's so true. You cannot be everything to everyone. You need to focus on what you're gonna focus on and niche it down to that. I said, "Well, I'm a niche in veterans, I'm a niche in, um, business owners, and I'm a niche in reverse mortgage." That's not niching down, that's just I'm doing those 3 products. What I focus mainly on is veterans and business owners. Those 2 things is my 2 niches are, and the reason I have 2 niches is because they're just in my area, there's just not enough of one to supplement what I wanna do. Now, if I focus nationwide, that would be totally different, but I focus more where in my area. So it's important to really niche down what you want, who that perfect client is for you, And that's what you should focus on. If you take nothing away from today's show other than finding out who your perfect client is, because if you don't know who that is, you're wasting your time, period. So go and do that today. But I'm gonna get back to what I was talking about. I just think AI is going to benefit us as salespeople more than any other time in history of something new coming through. It's just you need to figure out a way to utilize it for what you're trying to do. And that's what we're gonna go over for the next, I wanna say we're gonna stay on this because I think we wanna stay on prospecting a lot longer than we were originally going to stay on it. Because I think if you don't prospect, there's a thing that stated that, a book that was, differentiate or die, and it's the same thing with prospecting. Either you're gonna prospect or you're gonna die. You're a prospect or you're gonna starve. Don't worry, I got those domains. Um, if you're not prospecting, you're not working, and as a salesperson, you have to prospect 50% of the time that you're doing in what you're doing. You need to set up your whole week that you're focusing on prospecting 50% of your time. I said before quarter percent when you're actually getting much further along. I still think you should go back to where it's 50% of your time. It's set up automations to do all the other stuff that you need to do. Get VAs, virtual assistants to handle a lot more for you so that you can just focus on prospecting. I have a team of assistants who pick on certain things of my transactions, so I don't have to focus on that. So I can focus on just the beginning with the client, building the relationship and the trust, and then, through the process, I touch in with them, and then at the end where it's done. But the actual day-to-day stuff that I do, I don't focus on, and neither should you. You should be focusing on in front of the client at all times and building that relationship, and that's kinda what I wanted to get to more so today that, this optimization is great, but it's gonna help you just focus on building that relationship with the client. I know I had this whole presentation today, which you guys don't know about, but as I was talking, I wanna beat this home. Build the relationship. That's all you need to focus on is the relationships. What the AI will allow you to do is figure out of the leads, which leads won't turn into prospects and into clients. It'll help you allow you to get through those a lot faster. So then you can really focus on the prospects that are going to turn into clients that's going to build the relationships that will build the referrals for you. And that's what's so important is that part of the transaction is building that the relationships that you have, that's what you need to build. Key in on that. If you take nothing else away from today, it's that. Build the relationships. Utilize AI and all the new stuff that's coming out so you can focus only on that. And that's what you need to do with and take away from all the shows that Brian and I will do going forward and all the people we bring in. Take what they tell you how you can focus to one. I'm going to say it one more time. So you can build the relationship with your client so that that client will refer you because once somebody refers you somebody, there's a trust built in that you can't create. That trust built in from somebody referred to you from a past client. There's not competition built. They trust you already. They are focused with to help. They want you because they were referred to you, and that's more. You can't get anything better than that. One of our people that's Steve Sims always says, when you get introduced, which is better, you introducing yourself or somebody else introducing who you are from across the room? You can't beat that. The same thing was with clients when they get referred to you from one of your past clients. So that's what you need to focus on. So build, if you don't have the CRMs built in, if you don't have the AI built into all the different stuff you need to do, you need to sit down, go get Chat GPT. I know a lot of people do. There's a thing you can add to it to it can have current web address. So it can actually go web access, not address. Current web access so that you can actually search current stuff and include that in versus the 21 and back. It's so important, and that's what I do, and I use it for everything, but that's not the only thing I use. There's so many other things I use with AI now going forward to help me with my process, and that's what you need to focus on. And that's kind of all I wanted to bring home today is there's so many things you can use for prospecting with AI, and we're going to bring a lot more and break them down with different softwares and different things that's out there so you can utilize it. Because even we're seeing a need in our industry and to automate a lot more of that stuff and also have it be created from the beginning into our CRM and into other stuff. I know a lot of people are big into go high level. I really like what they have. I like what they do. And if you don't know anything about it, reach out to me and I'll send you a link so you can go to them. but it's a great program. And that's kind of, I want to end it here because it's been about 15 minutes. I said I was going to go there, and my voice is starting to give a little bit. Again, if you take nothing away from today's show other than focus on your clients and build that relationship, that's the most important thing. What AI is going to allow salespeople to do is, again, what I say, focus on closing deals and maximizing revenue while providing value, insights, and strategies and decision. And also the most important thing, building that relationship with your client. And that's so important. I don't know how many times I said that today, but I cannot not say that more than that. Utilize everything you possibly can so you can spend the time to build the relationships with your clients. The easiest way to build a relationship with a client, pick up the damn phone, talk to them, send videos on their birthdays, send texts on, you find out their birthdays, anniversaries, everything, connect with them constantly, send videos, call them. The most important thing is call them, because when you talk to somebody, you can hear the tones, inflections in their voice. And if you're irritating them or if they don't want you to do business with you, that's so important. Stop worrying about phone call and call them. Again, today, my main takeaway from today is focus on building the relationship with your client. That's what I want you to focus on, and I want you to utilize all AI, everything you possibly can find out there to help you so you can just focus on that. And I hope you got a little bit from today's show. Brian and I will be back on Thursday. We'll have a joker. That is the person who will help you bring that unique ability to your business and your side. Because again, this is 4 aces and a joker. 4 aces that stand for attitude, commitment, enthusiasm, and smile. The 4 things you bring to the table. And then the joker is the wild card in the situation, and your unique ability that you have that nobody else has. And we bring the wild card on Thursdays to help you build that side of who you are. And that's all I had for today. And I want to thank you for watching. Everybody make it a great day. And like I said, Brian will be back on Thursday, and make it great.